Hello and welcome to this BloombergQuint special. We have with us Nisaba Godrej, Executive Director at Godrej Consumer, and Sunil Kataria, Business Head for the division. Nisaba, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
To begin with, household insecticides, that's a division that gives you more than 50% of your revenue for India market. How is it doing? Because Q1 was a very disappointing quarter for that division.
So the growths have really picked up in this last quarter. So I think things are very much back on track. It is a category that has some amount of seasonality and connection to the rains and the heat. So, but things are very much back on track. So
you had a degrowth of what 11% in Q1 for that division, right? Yeah. So has that been taken care of in Q2?
Yeah. So like actually, what Nisa mentioned is that you have to see this in the overall seasonality as a whole. There's a little bit of seasonality which does come in with the seasons and the mosquito infestation. So what we are seeing in that the season really got a bit postponed this time because we had a very severe summer, and the summer started very early this time in April itself. So that's a very unusual thing that we saw. And at the same time, what's happened is that we have seen a very high and very good monsoon which has happened in this period. So I think this is almost like just a shifting of season which has happened. And if I were to look at a cumulative period of first half, I think we're pretty much back on track.
And what about the second half? Will that be good enough?
Actually we're pretty bullish because we think that in any case the second half seasons which come, they are not monsoon dependent at all. They are more dependent on the regular non-monsoon phenomena of temperature, mosquito infestation, and I think that seems to be back on track. We're also hoping that now with a very good monsoon which has happened and with the harvesting happened now, the second half would really see a economy overall picking up, and that I think augurs well for the second half overall as a business.
Nisaba, do you think the second half is much better for Godrej given the fact that you have a lot of factors in favor of you, the 7th pay commission, you have GST coming in?
So we're quite excited about, I think the past 8 quarters in FMCG have been much slower than previously. And I think a lot of these factors are confluencing. Plus we have, a really exciting sort of product innovation portfolio that we've launched that have been doing well this year, and even this new launch that we're here to talk about today, we're very excited, about, because the household insecticide market is over 4,000 crores, but this is basically an in-home market, correct? People are using it in-home, and mosquitoes are not that obedient, so they're not just going to bite you in the house. So 4,000 in-home market, basically 126 crore outdoor personal repellent market, correct? So we feel that that's a huge sort of growth opportunity. We're reading about dengue, chikungunya every day. So we're quite excited with things that we can do in terms of in the market. So we're launching our whole new range of personal repellents. So we're quite excited about that because we really think it will expand the category and the market. So
you've been mentioning about
second half and years ahead, we're very positive about.
You've been talking about innovation in this segment for some time. Even in the Q1 con call, you mentioned about how you are spending on innovation. What are the kind of products which you're coming out with, and what is this kind of strategy you have to expand the Goodnight brand as per se?
So I think we have very exciting plans on the Goodnight brand, both in-house and out of home. Today, the range that we have here, we're particularly excited about. We've realized out of home there's been no real product innovation by sort of any of the players, and no marketing investment, correct? So both need to go really hand in hand. And so the product that we've come out with, and I've used my 2-year-old son as a guinea pig, is
and he's responding well to this product?
Well, yes, there are no mosquitoes biting him, no dengue or anything so far. So basically it's a really simple product. It doesn't exist anywhere, correct? It's nowhere else in the world. And basically what you do, it's called a fabric roll-on. So it's not a skin application product. You just you apply it to your clothes, correct? So you just put 1, 2, 3 and 4 dots on yourself or on your child, and it gives you up to 8 hours of protection. So the reason we feel that it's very good is, one is that if you have a young child, you can imagine how difficult it is to catch them and put cream on. So this literally takes 2 seconds. We've built a hook into it so that you can put it on their school bags, you can sort of hang it anywhere you want, and then you're getting this. Mothers are very frustrated because they don't have a solution for out of the home. So we kept on hearing that we want to protect our child, but we don't, have a solution. We don't particularly like putting these creams on. The kids don't stand still while we do it. So we're very excited about it because we think it's a really good innovation. It's also 100% natural.
And how is it responding to your initial market?
So we're just launching it. So we've not even,
you must have done test marketing, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, actually we did a very detailed concept use test or CUT on this, and 82% of the consumers whom we place this product with, they expressed a desire to buy it almost here and now. And the kind of reaction we got is, can you leave a few samples for us, right, at the product stage itself. So this is one of the best scores that we've got for most of our innovations. So we're very, very sure that this product will actually have.
And what about effectiveness of this product?
It's very effective. So we've tested it both. Obviously we tested ourselves, but we also do it with third-party testing to get it ratified. And it's all the products we've had, we've got them tested by pediatricians, so it's pediatrician recommended and stuff. So they are very sort of effective products. They work very well.
I mean, you guys are spending on innovation in this category, because this category hasn't seen much innovation, you yourself said.
Yeah, so we don't give out our R&D numbers.
On an annual basis, what does the Godrej Group spend on?
We don't really share those numbers.
Percentage of revenues?
We've not been sharing sort of. I think the bigger investment in these categories come in terms of advertising.
So what's that?
And we definitely, again, we won't give you an exact number, but we do feel, if you look at the investment that has gone in building the in-home household insecticide category, and it's not just advertising your products, it's also educating consumers about how to protect yourself from mosquitoes and malaria and dengue. So I think we are very committed to both educating consumers through advertising, but also doing a lot of work on digital and stuff to really give them the facts, break down myths. So a lot of people don't know. For example, when we've done research, 90% of Indians don't know that dengue is a day mosquito, correct? So they feel maybe slightly more comfortable that they're protected at night, but the dengue is going, if that mosquito comes, it comes in the day. So you do need to protect yourself outside of the home also.
So, in Q1, your AMP spends came down. Do you expect that going up, because now that you have a new portfolio coming out in the market?
So in fact, even in Q1, if you see, when I was saying the AMP spends came down, it was because we obviously have a large category like HI, and since the HI season was not kicking in, so that is why obviously it didn't make sense at that time to spend till you have this season coming in. But at the same time, one thing which we have really put the throttle on, if you see, we have done around, this is the 5th innovation in 7 months, and across categories. We've been spending very heavily, consistently behind all the new products. Whether it's been Air Pocket in January, or the Synthol Deo Stick in March, and then V Blunt Salon Secret, which we launched just 35 days back, and now this. So I think our philosophy is very clearly that we are investing behind both core and then investing heavily in NPDs. And the spending, yes, in this quarter is fully back on track, and HI definitely.
But a product like this works much ahead of the monsoon season, and we are towards the end of monsoon season, right? So
so when I said seasonality, there's some amount of season. It's not like it's a fully seasonal category. And what he said that happened this year was just that the monsoons were pushed.
The offset was pushed by a few weeks.
So that's why you're seeing, there'll be some variation in quarters. But we feel that this is very relevant year around. So I don't think it wasn't like we were saying, we have to launch this in June or July. This was on track for a launch now. And these launch plans we actually have, 2-3 years
In advance.
in advance, at least maybe not 3, but 18 months to 2 years in advance. Our plans are all baked in.
So tell me one thing, you had a degrowth in Q1. You expect that to recover in Q2 because of a good monsoon coming in.
Yeah.
How do you expect the HI segment to end the year with? Will you see a good decent growth coming in HI segment, or double digit growth kind of thing?
Yeah, in fact that's something which we are very clear that we expect that. See, we have been doing a lot of innovation around in this category, So we believe that with the monsoon coming back, and just one thing which we clearly, while you've been talking a lot about this Q1, figure what happened. I think you need to see it in the perspective of that it was just, the results get declared quarterly.
True.
But the market behaves in a certain way across the year. So I think one thing which we maybe we're putting too much of emphasis on this just one quarter result, and rather we should see it as a year as a whole.
So as a year as a whole,
so as a year as a whole, we believe that with the kind of innovation work that we're doing, the kind of investment that we're doing, HI category will grow at double digits.
You will be able to cross the 1500 crore revenue mark for HI division.
We've already crossed
HI
that.
is much bigger than 15 crores for
but
us.
in Q1 it was 393, right?
See, again, there's a definite.
There's a seasonality to it.
There's also a saliency. There's a quarter-wise salience anyway in HI. Like in every business, there are some saliencies depending on your product portfolios. So in any case, HI has a certain. Even if there was no shifting of, let's say, a very heavy summer versus a very heavy monsoon, there is a salience which is naturally built in across the year in this thing. So, for example, February, March, that last year quarter is a very big quarter for us anyway as a category, right? So you should not go only by Q1. Yeah, you should see as an overall. We're very clear that HI will have a double-digit growth.
So when you look at your product portfolio, what portion of your product portfolio or growth comes in from existing products and new products?
Okay, so NPDs for us have had a very great journey over the last 5 years or so, and today roughly around 17 to 18% of our total sales comes out of NPDs, and we have a very a very challenging and revolving definition of NPDs. For us, the NPD the way we define is any product which is launched till 36 months, 3 years. Even if that product becomes a big success, like we've had Godrej Expert Rich Creme, which got launched there. The moment it crosses 36th month, we put into what we call as base, and it goes out of NPD. So for us, the challenge for the innovation is that you make products successful, but you keep on doing it on a regular basis. So when I'm talking of 17%, it is on a consistent regular basis that we are today 70% of our business coming from NPDs, and we're very clearly gearing ourselves to make it 20% of our business.
I think the exciting thing that we find in our categories, for example, in HI, when we launched Fast Card, we took rural penetration from about 27-28% to 34%, correct? In a period of 2 to 3 years. So just
and that was a big success.
And that was and it's been fantastic, correct? So I think when you have so obviously we have variants and things like that, but we're very excited when products can actually obviously serve a consumer need, but also significantly drive penetration and category growth, correct? So the reason actually why we're very excited about this personal repellent thing is for 2 reasons. One is, like I said, the in-house market is 4,000 crores, out of home is 126 crores. So this is 35 times, correct? The in-house is 35 times the size of the out of home, correct? But mosquitoes are everywhere, correct? It's not like they're selecting only to come here. So we say, if we do a good job with this, correct, this is going to be as big as this, or maybe if it's not as big as it will be 40% of this, correct? And if you look at other markets like the US or Indonesia, personal repellents are a significant part of the overall market, which doesn't exist in India. The second thing is that we actually think that we've not brought a Me Too product into the market, correct? We've just brought this product which is 100% natural fabric roll-on, so it's not even applying on skin, so mothers just love it. When we talked about the 82% purchase intention. 90% of people we did research with said this is something that's I can relate to, and it's something that I want. So we're very excited. So obviously we're talking about Q1 and Q2, but I think if you look at the bigger picture in terms of growth, when things like Fast Card or this, this Goodnight fabric roll on, it can really expand the market and give us growth not just for a few quarters, but
sustainable growth basically.
Sustainable growth. So I think those are the, when we look at innovations, that's what really excites us. Even in something like, and he talked about a couple of the other innovations we had, like Air Pocket. So the bathroom freshener category, again small, correct? Air freshener in India overall is small, but consumers are just begging for something that's good at a good price, correct? And when you do that, this, we can't keep up with production. That's the, so I think, when we did Synthol Deo Stick, Deo penetration is only 11% in India. It's a hot tropical country. If you can bring the price down, correct? But we brought the price down because we changed the format, but we put 3 times the amount of perfume than you can get in a spray. So I think those are the things from an innovation perspective that really excite us, because you can grow the category, correct? It's not just about competition, you can really expand the category. So HI we're very bullish about because of this, and the kind of work we're doing in these categories is to really see how do you grow category and how do you grow penetration.
What about the growth in the rural market and urban market? I mean, are you seeing similar kind of growth figures coming in from these two markets?
In the last 18 months or so, we have seen overall rural consumption gone down, and this is not only now; it's
across the industry.
It's a phenomenon, and we know why this has happened. This is very clearly a lag effect, which has come of 2 consecutive droughts in India, and that does hit the economy pretty hard. So one of the reasons why overall FMCG has been under stress is because rural used to always have a very significant delta over urban.
True.
And that's kind of just merged almost, and overall absolute numbers have come down. So that definitely is where one of the challenges is. But at the same time, one interesting thing which also is happening is, even in these tough times, like what Nisa was mentioning, if you have a true innovation like Fast Card, it can create a category. This 28 to 34% penetration, all said and done, has happened in these 2 years only, when the rural consumption has been really crashing. So I think, yes, rural markets have been under stress. We hope that now with monsoon being so good, the first markets will bounce back, and plus the kind of innovation and category creating innovations that we've done, they help you to actually increase consumption for your product.
I'm running out of
penetration, I would rather say.
I'm running out of time, but I will ask you one question. You have geopolitical tensions coming in. Will that impact in any way growth of the sector or for your company?
I hope not, and I hope these things get sorted out for the country's sake. But let's see what happens, but I can't comment on that as of now.
Any impact on the industry?
First of all, this is a very difficult one to comment because you know how situation develops. But at the same time, FMCG as a category is also a category which is not discretionary. It's a category which is an essential category, and we've seen that FMCG is the category which is the last one to slow down in case of any such emergency or external situations do happen. But at the same time, I think at this stage it is more about how the whole situation developed at a country level, and we hope actually this doesn't spiral out.
It doesn't,
I think that's a bigger issue for the country.
I don't think.
Right now we're not too. I think it's maybe talking about its impact on our industry is too small a point. I think the bigger issue, we all hope that for the sake of both the countries, it doesn't spiral out.
Nisa and Sunil, thank you very much for joining us on BloombergQuint.
Thank you so much for your time.